Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So one of my hobbies is looking through really expensive real estate online and then envisioning what it would be like if I were able to buy it. Well, you know what? One of these websites that I look at all the time is called dirt.com, where they showcase who's buying these expensive homes. But one of the interesting points that I think goes unnoticed, wrongfully so, are the comments, because I started looking into what people were saying about these homes, and wow, I mean, it is absolutely horrible. I mean, here's somebody buying their $30 million dream home, and people just crap all over it. They talk as much shit as they possibly can about the home, and they just tear it down. And as proof of this, I want to show you a few of these that really stood out. The first one is from none other than Oprah Winfrey. According to this, she sold her spare Montecito ranch for $14.3 million. It was built in 1951, it's 3,300 square feet on 5.6 acres, and the home is absolutely beautiful. But the comments, on the other hand, don't seem to agree. For example, one guy says, "Poor guy has her for a neighbor." Lynn commented that it's rather shameful that an individual reigning over this large estate, including many others, hasn't solved the homeless problem in the USA. Poor thing, needing all that nouveau hysteria just to feel okay about herself. Selling off one of her homes could do so much good for housing seniors that are on just Social Security, house our homeless vets, house displaced families because of rent increases. What does Hollywood do with all of their excess money? Well, you know what? I am happy that she was able to sell such a beautiful house, but you know what? It doesn't stop there. After that, we have the gorgeous home purchase of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He purchased a home in Pasadena, California for $4.6 million, and it's incredible. It was a home built in 1906, 7,600 square feet on half an acre lot, which in Los Angeles is pretty good. And to me, this home seems like a dream home. I mean, it's not everyone's style to go for the Craftsman home of the early 1900s, but you have to appreciate the level of detail in this property is second to none. I've looked into restoring one of these old Craftsman homes in West Adams district of Los Angeles, and I gotta say, it's expensive. Most people don't do it because if you're going to do it properly, it's so much money that you're usually going to take it on as a loss. To do a project like this, you're going to spend more money than what it's worth to basically just go and flip it and put white paint everywhere and sell it off to someone else who doesn't really care. But this estate, in my opinion, is a perfect example of what a 1900s craftsman should be like. Except this comment says, "Classic home, but too much of a creepy feel to it. Why others want a large home for two people, no idea. Nice, but wouldn't want to live there." Or we also have this purchase from Poison's Brett Michaels. He purchased this home in Westlake, California for $5.5 million, built in 2019, 5,400 square feet. But as nice as this home is, with a marble entry, an expansive backyard, with infinity pool that kind of sinks into the landscape, with a basketball court, there's always someone who just doesn't like it. Valerie says, white, white, white. Horrible. Calabasas is about 15 miles from Westlake Village. A vacation home seems strange. Or we also have this one from the co-creator of Barry's Boot Camp. She purchased this home in Point Dume, Malibu for $18 million. It's a brand new construction, 7,400 square feet, and I have to say, this home is absolutely beautiful. It looks like a bit of a ranch with a wood entry. It goes up to a nice motor court, a huge garage with a separate structure, brand new everything, total privacy, a great backyard with a swimming pool, and yeah, there's gonna be someone out there who just hates it, who just can't stand any bit of the house. Jonah says, $18 million for a tract home McMansion? They sell those rolling barn doors in your Home Depot. The kitchen is small, beige, and already outdated. Everything has to be torn out. The living room is cramped and constrained for the price. They utilize that mismatched, reclaimed lumber on the ceilings that was prominent 10 years back on HGTV. The stone recessed bedclothes were also popular then. The outside area is big, however, with no hardscaping areas to enjoy it. This requires a complete renovation, and they ought to include a minimum of an outdoor kitchen area. Another commenter said, "Is this Nashville or Malibu? Absolutely nothing special about it other than the location and some nice landscaping." Now, most of these comments, I would guess, are not in the market to spend $18 million on a home, but that doesn't stop people from wanting to voice their opinion, which on the internet is extremely important, because without that, we wouldn't have comments like this. This is a home that's currently on the market in Malibu for $37 million. It was built in 1975, 4,500 square feet on a third of an acre, which in Malibu is actually quite a lot. See, in Malibu, you really value these properties based on the lot and the size of beach that you get. So you could get like 60 feet of beach, 100 feet of beach, so on. So the wider the property you get, the more beach you get, and the more valuable the property tends to be. Well, in this case, it's rather unassuming from the front. I mean, if you were to see this picture anywhere else in the world, you would think it's maybe a $250,000 property. But once you enter, you get to see the magic. You walk in, you have a shaded, grassy area. It's not exactly the most modern, but you get one of the best areas in Malibu in terms of beachfront. Now, in Malibu, like I mentioned, frontage is very important. Like, how much beach do you get? But in this case, what you have is sand. See, not all Malibu is situated the same way. A lot of these properties are directly over the water. So you have the house, you have stilts, and you have water underneath the house. But in this case, you have a lot of sand, and that's what makes this extremely valuable. But for some people, this house is not worth anything. In fact, they wouldn't even want to be paid for accepting it. Let me show you. Lisa just wrote, nope. Michael says, no one's paying even close to that price for that place. Dane says, determine the value of the lot and subtract the cost of tearing the house down. You've got the sale price. Awfully high price tag for that house. Maybe it was in the colony instead of on PCH. Or David, I do not like the interiors at all. It should have been more spacious, and having an oceanfront view would be great. The house could use a big upgrade for the price. But some of these homes, I will admit, do receive a lot of support, like Lindsay Lohan. She bought this house in Malibu for $7,988,888. This home is 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms on almost 13 acres, and I gotta say, it's not everyone's taste, but it's a nice property. It's very modern, it's got a great view, it's got a lot of character to it. It's a little dated, but you have a very long driveway that goes to it, so you have pretty much complete privacy. However, Ruth says that this is cold, austere, looks like an office building, just not my taste this time. Or Valerie, nothing attracted me to this home. The surrounding hills are beautiful though. Of course, Sue does say that she likes the place a lot, it just needs warmer, cozier furnishings. I also think it's quite interesting that we have a billionaire's son who purchased this home in West Hollywood for $4.9 million, 3,200 square feet on a 9,000 square foot lot, and the home, in my opinion, is pretty sophisticated for a 25-year-old. It's not exactly the home that you would expect someone in their 20s to go for, but you know what? I'm here for it. I like it. I think it's a very sophisticated, timeless style. Some of the details in this house will absolutely look a little bit dated in 10 years, but I would say the bones and structure of the house are timeless. But again, Derek says, the pool is hideous, to which I agree. It's not exactly the best. It's probably one of the comments that I do agree with could be spruced up a little bit, but no reason not to like the house, right? David says, good for him for not going all crazy on a first home. That shows that he has a good head on his shoulders. It's perfect for a single man. Good luck to you, which is probably the kindest comment I've seen all day so far. We could just ignore that Miss Gigi says, just terrible renovation, not a scrap of the original character. Or how about this one? Bella Poarch has gone absolutely viral on TikTok. She's actually blossomed that into quite a successful music career. As such, she bought a $4.3 million home in Pacific Palisades, which for those unaware, that is one of the most affluent, nicest communities in West Los Angeles. You have, Malibu, Pacific Palisades, Santa Monica that all back up to each other, but the Palisades is the one that has the largest homes, the biggest lot sizes, the best views, so a lot of people want to move there, including Bella Poarch. Well, this home was built in 1959, and it still retained a lot of that character from 1959. I mean, as you can see, a few of the items were upgraded over time, but for the most part, it's retained a lot of its original characteristics. And the backyard is absolutely gorgeous. It's very zen, it's green, it's overgrown, very mature. I like pretty much everything to do with this house, but not everybody agrees. David thinks that it's very ugly and would tear it down and build new. This place is just a mess of a house. Only that land is worth something, and I don't know why so many people were lining up to see it. Bet they were disappointed afterwards. Plus, being wood, there would be worries about wildfires. Or finally, we got this home that Zed was trying to sell for years. He sold it for $18 million in Beverly Hills. The house is mind-blowing. It's up in the canyons of Beverly Hills, overlooks the entire city. It's completely private, it's gated, it's everything that you want in a house. Well, guess what? Fiona says, this is a soulless tavern. A big no. Glad to the city of LA. This will be garnering substantial transfer taxes on these emblems of too much wealth. No one needs multiple houses all over town. The old expression, pure and simple, takes on expanded meaning daily. Now, if you're confused about what this means exactly, Los Angeles passed what's known as a transfer tax that applies to all sales over $5 million. This means that any sale over that amount has to pay about 5 to 6.5% of its value back to the city to pay for homelessness, basically. Now, it is being challenged in court, so time will tell, but regardless, that meant that Zed had to come out of pocket over $1 million despite really not making any money on the deal, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I digress. But I guess what Matt believes should be done differently is that this place should have geothermal, solar, or wind generating power sources. Approaching 20 million bucks with flat roofs, no end, and what, 10 grand a month electrical bills? Beyond ridiculously foolish in my book. Places like this should be completely energy self-sufficient. Shame they're not. Or Bradley says this house is UGLY, unless one wants to live in a hotel with high water bills in a drought. So it seems like no matter who you are or what you buy, you're gonna be subject to criticism of the internet. So I'd be curious to see what you think about these homes down below in the comment section. Let me know if these people are right, if these homes are awesome, if they suck, or if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribed. It helps with the channel tremendously if you do so. So thank you so much. As always, feel free to add me on Snapchat and Instagram. It's just GPStefan. And don't forget as well that you could get a free stock with our paid sponsor, Public.com, down below in the description with the code GRAHAM when you make a deposit. Enjoy. Thank you so much, and until next time.